Hi, it's Dr. Bob Greykowski, creator of the Better Brain Blueprint. I love this topic in that it teaches us that learning takes time and there are 4 different phases to the learning process. Just about anything we do, whether we want to learn a sport, whether we want to be able to memorize something, learn something new in our job, if we want to learn to play an instrument, it takes time. And our brain goes through 4 different phases of learning. The first phase is, hey, I want to learn how to play the guitar. And so you have this unconscious incompetence. That means that you have no idea what you don't know. So you're in the state of bliss to go, it'd be really cool to play the guitar. So then you start to take some lessons and you go to the second phase is where you're consciously incompetent and you're trying to hold these different things with your hands or your motor coordination and these different frets and you're trying to strum a certain way and you realize that you're consciously incompetent. You know that you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, but that's a learning process. This is where most people quit something because they want to have it perfect right from the beginning. Perfection and mastery takes thousands of hours. They say it takes 10,000 hours, but just about anybody can master it if you just put the time in. But this conscious incompetence phase is where people get frustrated, they get more angry, and they just quit. That is a problem in our society. People just want to have this quick process with everything, and they don't go through the learning phases. This must be something that we got to get to the next level where we are consciously competent. This is the third phase of learning. This is where we realize that we have to think about it, but we kind of know what we can do, and we start to get a little bit more of this process. If we're learning how to play a guitar, we just do it over and over and over again. You go, hey, that's starting to sound better. My muscles or memory process is starting to remember where it's supposed to be, and I'm starting to coordinate what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, and what I'm actually doing. That phase is very important because the more that you do that conscious competence phase, the more confidence that you have, and then you get to the point where you're just, it's just unconscious. You just do it, and it's just habit pattern. It's like wired. If you think of one of my favorite athletes of all time, Michael Jordan, he would get to the basketball court an hour ahead of time and just shoot free throws, just to get that nervous system wired. And now he had done this thousands of times before, but every game he would get there ahead of time. He would visualize a huge basket and a small ball going into it. So his mental aspect, he would shoot the shots until it just became second nature. We can do that with just about anything. Anything you want to learn, you have to realize you have to go through these 4 phases of learning. First off, you go, hey, it's a good idea. So you're unconsciously incompetent. You have no idea what you don't know. You're a state of bliss, and I just want to learn it. Then you got to go through that hard stage where you're consciously incompetent. You feel frustrated. You don't realize that you can do this. If you stick with that long enough, then your brain and your nervous system creates that muscle memory, creates that muscle so that you can create a consciously competent action. Then, the more you do it, that's where mastery comes into play. When you have mastery, you do it over and over again, and you just don't think about it. So I challenge you this week to look at something that you might be somewhat frustrated with and put the time in. Realize that frustration can turn into fascination, and you can change how you feel about the learning process. Whether it's a new job, a new task, a sport, or even just communication skills with somebody. You have to go through those 4 phases in just about everything you do. To realize, get past the consciously incompetent stage and get to the conscious and unconscious competence level so that you can have less stress, less anxiety, and more confidence. This is another Better Brain tip of the week from Dr. Bob. Have an awesome week. See you next time.